BBC Radio Manchester. Good morning, it's just gone 11:15. My name's Adam Brown, I'm here with Natalie Williams, and all throughout this week we've been speaking to Manchester icons. Now, what I mean by that is people that have really excelled in their field of expertise, people who have really contributed to the city of Manchester in some way, or, as Natalie so succinctly put it earlier this week, she said, you just got to be dead good at what you do. Just dead good, just dead good.
That's a technical term, isn't it?
It is a technical term, I think, yeah. So we are now currently, we're speaking to a man who I said a little bit earlier on, he's an actor, he's a playwright, he's a man of many talents, isn't he, Nat?
He's indeed. He's Bolton born and bred, and he's one of the most respected and admired actors and playwrights to emerge from the scene in our city and slightly beyond as well. He's called Joe O'Byrne. He's created a brilliantly realistic community in his Paradise Heights plays, as well as writing films, presenting on the radio, and even working in the probation service. It's fair to say that he probably deserves the title of being one of today's Manchester icons. Good morning.
Good morning. How the devil are you two then? I tell you what, I was looking over my shoulder and I thought, who is it? I want to meet this guy. I thought, yeah, it's lovely to be here. Yeah.
How do you feel when you hear kind of an introduction like that?
It's amazing. I just want the money to go with it now. That would be brilliant. But no, it's really, really nice. Who wrote that? Because they're a good writer. Nice one.
Right, what's your first love? Because you're a writer, you're an actor.
I tell you what, it's a difficult one. I mean, if you'd asked me this a few years ago, it was always if I had to stop doing any of them, it'd be like hacking a limb off, because I really, I do enjoy them all, and if I had my way, I'd have 4 clones, doing everything else. But I've got to say, particularly over the last 12, 18 months or so, it's the writing. I'm really enjoying that now. Really enjoying it. I mean, there's 2 stories I'm working on at the moment. One's finished, actually, Strawberry Jack, the next one, and I think we're going to rock a few worlds with that. And obviously, I'm going to be directing it again, and I might even be popping up acting in this one as well. So, because I've been press ganged by the crew, the acting crew, you should be out there acting in it. So I think I'm going to pop up in it. Yeah.
You are really hands-on in all your productions.
Oh yeah.
Is it like you're quite precious about them? Is it that thing of not?
To be honest, when I started off, I used to be like that, quite. I don't want you to change that. I don't want you to change it. That works as it is, and it's something you start to learn over the years that. It's always good to get other perspectives on things, and I'm very fortunate that the group of actors that I work with quite regularly, and I mean I always bring a new actor into each production anyway, 1 or 2 new faces, but I do have a hard core of people that I work with, and I really respect their opinions and views, and some of the stuff they've come out with has really helped. So I've learned to become a lot more. So I'm totally receptive now, really, yeah. I've opened up.
So before we kind of move on to some of your productions, Joe, and speak about them, take us right back to the start about, growing up and that kind of thing and getting into writing. What was your childhood like?
With childhood, I was always one of those, like any kid, really. You'd see something on television, you want to play it outside. You'd start doing your own little versions of it and all that. I remember you used to play Land of the Giants in Bluebell Forest and all that sort of stuff. So, and Star Trek and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I was very influenced by TV really at that point, and had a vivid imagination. So I was playing Army in the Street. Garrison's Gorillas, that was another one. There'll be a few people that might remember Garrison's Gorillas. So we were always playing Army.
I'm looking a bit blank.
I know. So you give me age away there now. So I'm coming up to 25 next month. But I was influenced by comics as well. I love my comics. I still love them now. Actually, they're not comics. They're graphic novels. So anything like that. I suppose it's a bit escapist, really. But I still like to root a lot of my escapism in real life. What's going on. But as we'll talk about that as we go on. But very vivid imagination, and I loved writing my little stories back then. And I didn't know I'd end up doing it.
Have you got brothers and sisters?
I've got one brother, yes, who's 3 years younger than me.
Is he similar to you?
No, we're complete chalk and cheese, to be honest. I mean, from a personality point of view, I'd say, we're quite similar, but in what we do, completely different. Dave's like a retail troubleshooter. He's on something like... In fact, I should get him producing. Really,
it'd be really tough if you shared that as well.
No. But he's working for 2 different companies at the moment, and basically he goes and sorts out problems for big companies, and he's very good at what he does. Very, very good. Yeah.
We are speaking to Manchester icons, and at the moment we are speaking to Joe O'Byrne, actor, playwright, man of many talents. What I mean, if there was a job, if there's a form and it said job title, Joe, what would you write down as job
Creative.
title? Just creative?
Yeah, cracked creative. Yeah, that would be it, I think.
Not vague.
Yeah.
Well, see, you're saying that a little bit earlier on to us. You're saying that, you know, you were kind of, you loved all different areas.
Yeah.
You never wanted to sort of miss out on any of them. You know, if you had to, and you said, is writing your favourite now?
Well, yeah, because I suppose that's the one that I spend most time doing, creating these stories, and so you kind of end up living with these characters and things for a while and these situations. So I suppose, the writing is the one that I can't start doing that. I do love all that.
What is it that you love about writing?
It's when you get to read. I mean, I'll write 2 or 3 scripts at a time and keep them on the go, and it's surprising what can develop out of that. Like everybody's waiting for Torch. I've been going on about Torch for years. The next story in the Paradise Nights universe, but that's going to be so epic that it's going to need a bit of finance to get that one on, I think. But that's still achievable, and it is going to be a good story. There's going to be live music in that one as well. It's all set in Frank Morgan's club in Paradise Nights, which is a really weird version of it's like a Copacabana in the middle of a council estate. It's mad.
Tell us more about Paradise Nights, because people who are listening saying, what's it about Paradise Nights?
Well, Paradise Nights, it's an amalgamation of different areas that have influenced me as I've been growing up and where I live now. There's like Holmes Estate in Bolton, there's Halliwell in Bolton where I live now, Hume, Salford. It's kind of a patch quilt version of that, and there's stories, there's characters and situations that I've set there. The first one was a story called I'm Frank Morgan, all about a loan shark operating in that area, and that was made into an award-winning short film, and it's been done in 2 different ways as a play, where I've got to play the character each time myself on stage. But Ian Curley got to play him in the bench. So why is Frank Morgan in the bench? Well, that's another reason. They're not just isolated plays. You can see them as an isolated stand-up play, and you won't feel you've missed anything anywhere else.
But they are interconnected.
But they're all interconnected. You can jump on board at any point and not feel, oh, I've missed this, I've missed that, or whatever. But if you see another production, second, third, you start to think, that's about that, and that's a ripple effect from that, and that's him from the other player there.
A bit like when they have spin-offs on the telly.
Yeah, it's that. And
certain programmes.
The thing for me that influenced me with that, I did a lot of reading as a kid, and Stephen King influenced me with that, with the sheriff that he uses in Maine and all that. He pops up in different stories, and I thought, that's a really good idea. So for me, I thought, I can do this with Paradise Nights, and it's, we're getting a real army of fans now, and people are really connecting to that, and people, like Frank Morgan's like the bogeyman, now the boogeyman, whatever. Is Frank going to be in the next one? Is Frank in it? So he's quite a cultural figure of his own now, Frank. And what I'm trying to get people to recognise is it's a TV series waiting to happen, this. We're getting all the rave reviews for everything that we're doing now with the series. A real colourful bag of characters, and with a slight hint of the supernatural to it, which people do like.
Intriguing.
Yeah. Well, we're going to speak a little bit more about Joe's projects after a Trevor Can Travel update here on BBC Radio Manchester, and music on the way for you.